I walked up in here and I took a shortcut, cut up over the ridge, and I come up this old logging road I'll show you here. And what I'm doing is I'm hunting. If I see a deer, good, and if I can get a shot at it, good, great. But I'm scouting while I'm doing this. Anytime you're out in the woods, anytime you get a chance to go out in the woods, even if you're going to a spot, just say, if it's private property, it's a little different because you pretty much know the property. But like on public, if you've got a spot you're going to, if you can, within the wind allows, and depending on where the deer come from, go into that spot different directions and scout your way in. Never go into the woods hunting. Don't matter if you're going to your stand or what. Always be scouting. Always. That's the number one rule that I try to follow myself. I don't talk about it much, but I'm always looking. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I don't care if I only walk 100 yards. I'm always looking for sign, rubs from last year, rubs from this year, scrapes, trails, just acorn trees, white oaks, red oaks, any kind of food source. I'm always scouting, looking. If I'm like this logging road I'm on now, if I was just planning on coming up it, going to a tree up here, I'll stray off of it if I see something I want to check out and look at. Like right now, I just spotted a buck rub right over here from me, about 20-25 yards. I'll probably walk over and check that out and just kind of get a direction of where that deer's coming from, and then I can look on the map and kind of see, because usually you can tell the direction a buck's going when he rubs a tree. It's not guaranteed, but if he's rubbing the back side of the tree, or just say he's rubbing the west side of the tree, then more than likely he's coming from the west, traveling, whichever direction, but towards the east or whatever. But and so you can get, then you look on your map on your phone, say, all right, well, it looks thicker back here. If you get a chance, you can go out and you can scout that in the spring or summer or early fall or whatever. But if not, you just, you find some sign. Like right now, if I find a lot of good sign right now, I'm going to mark it on my map. And I'll definitely come back in here in bow season next year. Because if I find good sign right now, more than likely, it was from before our gun season come in. Because, like I said, there's so many people up here, these deer are just scattered all over. People usually leave out of here on Wednesday, so, the deer start calming down and start moving back in. So I'll mark that spot, and I might come back in and check it. I get a quick hunt next year or something, or come back this spring and check it. I'll come back here, maybe throw shit. Might have been Trevor. I don't know, it sounded way up in there, but if y'all can hear that, turn the radio on here and see. But he's way back in there. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm hunting here. If I quit on the ground, but see, this is a logging road I'm hiking up. You see the sun's going down. You got a deep hollow here. Well, it ain't a deep hollow, but it gets deeper as it runs down. There's a big bowl back in there, a lot of pines. I've seen several deer in here, early in here before. Like I said, this little hump, I go up here, the road just about 150 yards down off of there. Maybe not even that far. But my one nephew, he's sitting on a ridge up here. Camera won't back up there. My other nephew, he's way up in there somewhere. That's where that shot sounded like it come from, so see if he hollers on the radio. But I'm gonna work my way on up this road, scouting as I'm going, and go see if I pump something to my nephew. And it is cold. Oh, it is freezing cold. I left my jacket at the house. All I got on is a sweatshirt and a long sleeve t-shirt. I do got long johns on underneath, but I ain't gonna sit too long. But like I said, if y'all think you have any interest in this channel, like I said, like and subscribe. If not, there's a lot better channels out there, I'm sure. But we'll see what take you along on this hunt here, and maybe throw a little bit of it in there, and we'll see what happens. Y'all stick around. Thanks for watching. Alright, that was Trevor shot. He just answered us on the radio, but he missed. He said he had to rest off a tree. Right as he was squeezing the trigger, the darn gun slipped, and he shot her in underneath of her. I just seen that rub I was telling you about right out here, and I just found another rub right up here. I'll show you. This is what I mean by always scouting. When you're hunting, always be scouting. Right up here, but it ain't no. Gosh, it was slow to the ground, so when it's a young buck, but it doesn't matter. You see it right there. Little rub. That other one's, it's right out there. And both of them's been on the back side of this tree towards the kind of, so it'd be southwest, I guess. So I'd say that buck's coming from back in here, which I do know. This ridge top right here has got some like, well, I guess it's like mountain laurel or something. It's only about 2 to 3 foot high. But once you cross that ridge, it drops off into a creek on the other side and then gets up into some big mountain laurel. Big old freaking thick patch of mountain laurel. I mean, the deer, I've been through it and there's deer trails all over in it, but every time I've ever tried to get close to it, the deer, you spook them out. So this would be a good spot in here to ambush him. If this buck made it through, or any deer. I mean, I'm sure there's more deer travel through here, but here's what they're probably doing. There's a field over here. Well, back right in there's a field. There's a little field on over in here. So they're probably working their way out of that mountain laurel, coming through here, going to them fields. So somewhere in here probably be a good spot to ambush one with a bow or something early in the season or whenever, when they're still hitting them fields. Catch them before dark, because if that is where they're going, it's coming out of that big patch of mountain laurel, which is probably 400 or 500 yards that way. You might catch them before it gets dark. Doe or anything coming through here. I'd say if it was me and I had more time, I'd probably walk the direction of them rubs are headed and get up on that ridge and look around and mark a spot, but I don't have much time to see it. As you can see, the sun's done went down. So, but I'd probably go on that, follow them rubs on that with the direction they're going, kind of keep watching, go slow, and every time I find a rub, keep going in the direction they're going, and then find you a spot up there. It looks like it'd be a good ambush spot, and then find you some trees to set in for next year, or if you're in the summer, find you a tree, mark it, and then that'd be a spot. Like if, just say you went up on top of that ridge right there and found the spot where you want to set up, that'd be a spot you could come to if you had only like an hour and a half of hunting or 2 hours of hunting. You could drive right up down here and park. I mean, like I said, the road's just right down there. You could park and shoot up here. You'd be up here in 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. Pop up tree, set up, have you an hour and 15 minutes to hunt or so. Hour to hunt. Be a quick little hunt, and you probably stand a good chance of getting a doe or a buck or whatever. Like I said, this channel's not gonna be for seeing big bucks and all that stuff. This is just more for people that's wanting to fill the freezer. Your meat hunters, basically. It's a meat hunters channel. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. There might be a name in. There might be a name there. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but might just call it meat hunter. But we'll see what happens. Y'all stick around. Alright guys, I walked on up here. Enough time I decided to pop on top of this ridge. I found another rub right here. A little fresher rub. And I found somebody's gun hunting spot. As you can see right there, that's definitely a gun hunting spot. Well, I guess you could sit there and crossbow hunt, but the way they got it built up, they got leaves and stuff stuffed in there. So that's telling me they're expecting deer to come off from that side over there coming through. Which makes sense to me, because like I was saying earlier, I know that laurel thicket's over there. So I look for stuff like that too. That doesn't deter me for just meat hunting, for whatever, if you kill one, just wanting to fill the freezer, that doesn't deter me. Yeah, if you're in here hunting for them monster bucks everybody's after, which I'm guilty of that too. I like to kill big buck, but you might not see that in here with, you get a lot of pressure in there. But like I said, that's almost guaranteed that's a gun spot. for this week, so I'm gonna mark this spot on the map. I might walk on over here, because this rub in front of me, it's facing, like it's basically going, like it's basically going right, the buck's working its way back to that laurel thicket. So it could be from the same buck. He could be going back there where them rubs was, going out over to them fields, food source, whatever, and coming back this way, going to that thicket. Because you get right over here, let me show you. Get right over there, it drops off the ridge into a hollow. It's a good place for the deer to go through to jump into that laurel thicket. And as you can see, you got this old, whatever this mountain or a little bit of laurel brush, whatever that stuff is in here. Deer could be up in here and they could pop, pop, going. I mean, it's easy. I mean, you got, it drops off here. That buck's probably coming back up off of that ridge, crossing through here. And he can, if he wins something or sees something, he can just pop right over that ridge and be gone. And be in that laurel thicket in no time, running. But this is the stuff you just need out. And whenever you're out hunting, look for it. Because like I said, this is the end of November, but I'll mark a spot right here, and I might come back in here and throw a sit at this in early bow season next year, or even mid bow season, because usually ain't that many people bow hunts in here on this piece of ground anyway. There's a few, but not very many. And throw a sit or two at this, and just see. I mean, I do bounce around a lot. I don't usually sit in one spot, all the time. I got a bunch of different spots to bounce around, a bunch of different spots on, different properties that I can bounce around to. But, anytime you're out and you got time to go out and walk and scout, do it. And mark, mark 100 spots if you have to. And just sit different, pop around. Eventually you'll get it here. Because the saying, that they say, that your first sit's usually your best. A lot of times I figured that out when I started paying attention to this stuff. Your first sit most time is your best sit. Especially if nobody else has been in there hunting, because the deer, they're calm, they ain't expecting nothing. You're ambushing them. I mean, you're in killer mode then. I mean, you're there. They're coming through. They're not paying no attention. They don't think nothing's there. Boom, you got it. So, as you can see, the old road goes on around here, and it's thick back in there too. It looks like a real good spot. I might walk on over here and mark this spot, because like I said, I got that rub right there. There's other two rubs I showed you right back there in them pines, and they was going that way, traveling that direction. So, but they was angling like they was coming from here too. So even if I didn't know that holler was over there, and I had to get out of here and I couldn't look, I could go home and look on the map, and you'd be able to see that holler. They're going to use that holler as a travel to come through, going, over to the food sources over in here. And when there's acorns on these trees, a lot of acorns and trees in here, a lot of red oak. I ain't seen a ton of white oak, but a lot of red oak. They're going to feed in here. So this would be a good spot to catch them headed to that field that's over there. And them lower fields, there's even fields further down. But this would be a good spot right here, I think, to get you a doe or, small buck, whatever you're after, meat, to get you some meat. But I'm going to mark this spot, and I'll definitely be back in here checking this. I'm going to sit at this here, this coming next year here. So, if I see anything else, I'll let you know. If not, thank y'all for watching.